In the distant future, mankind has reached the stars, but the galaxy is troubled.
What do you think you're doing? Don't fire!
The Earthsphere Alliance rules the outlying colonies with an iron fist.
I'm sure God would understand the steps we're taking.
Isn't it about time you people realized the ones posing the most threat are none other than yourselves? We've had enough!
Those who oppose them
We won't be needing you any further.
What?
die. Battles are waged with mobile suits, the key to military dominance. The only hope for the colonies, 5 elite soldiers and their legendary mobile suits called Gundams.
There will be a day when the Gundams will save us all.
What this is war.
All of you are very mistaken, and the Gundams will soon come to rectify your mistakes.
Silence!
Now, these pilots will shake the foundations of the Alliance and change the course of history.
You saw I was a kid and you underestimated me.
Shouldn't be fighting at all!
If they can stay alive.
Those Gundam pilots are desperate. They'll battle even if it means forfeiting their lives. Mission accepted.
It's a Gundam!
I'll eliminate all obstacles.
Just who are you anyway?
Say goodbye.
Get all mobile suits ready for combat at once! Catch you!
Don't die on me!
From the Gundam universe, a new chapter in one of the greatest anime sagas of all time. Gundam Wing. Weekdays at 5:30. Suit up.
Those who have laid eyes on a Gundam shall not live to tell about it.
Only Tsunami.
All next week at 5:30, Johnny Quest packs his bags.
What kid?
And Tsunami goes to war.
We've got a full-scale threat attack!
Open fire!
For 1 week only.
To your stations, quickly!
Beast Wars. All next week at 5:30. Transformers 90s style. Only on Tsunami.
Proximity alert. Proximity alert.
Flash.
The most anime on Saturday outside of Japan.
You just made my day.
Tsunami, the Rising Sun. Saturday from 9 to noon. A day which will live in infamy.
Ladies and gentlemen, over the years, Toonami's given you some of the greatest cartoon shows ever made. Now we're proud to present our newest edition, a program about love, honor, sacrifice, revenge, and a whole lot of destruction. Let's get things started! Gundam Fight all set, ready, go!
I will get rid of them with my own hands.
Your crime shall not go unpunished.
You still haven't figured out my true identity. Let's do it.
Now, fire!
What's happening?
Thinking the planet Earth is nothing more than a playground.
Prove your worth to the Shaolin Temple.
Totally insane.
Take this! My love, my anger, and all of my sorrow! You intend to shoot your own brother? Will never be forgiven!
G Gundam, premiering next Monday at 5. Only Toonami.
Okay, you asked for it.
It's the guy again! Come back to save us! And that old guy's with him!
Hey, stop calling me mister. I told you, I'm only 20 years old.
Success rates are nothing but scientific theory. A brave heart will defy any odds.
Program drive engage!
Broken Magnum! It doesn't look good. Hell and
Love my good, fear my evil. Premieres March 17th on Tsunami.
fellas, I'm ready to get up and do my thing. Can I count it on? Can I
It's a
count it
total
on?
eclipse of the heart.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, wait, cool.
My count is on. My count is on. 1, 2, 3, 4.
After Colony 196, humanity finally achieves peace. But the ashes of war give birth to a new threat.
We at Colony L3X18999 hereby wish to declare war against the nation.
A child is building an empire to avenge her father.
I will rule the world.
With Gundams at her side, Earth will feel her fury.
Drop the colony onto Earth. Stop this at once.
The remaining pilots will battle each other to stop her.
I'm asking if you guys are doing the right thing!
The endless waltz of war, peace, and revolution continues.
See for yourself just how powerless you are.
Roger that. Prepare yourself for Gundam like you've never seen it before.
You will surrender!
A special Gundam Wing movie. Endless Waltz. Friday, November 10th at 5. Suit up again. Only Tsunami. Tsunami's bringing back Saturday mornings. I'm going to show you a little experiment. 3 hours of quality Tsunami programming, and it's not even a school day. Starting at 9, you get back-to-back Thundercats. If we're gonna do it, let's do it. Then Sailor Moon at 10.
Sun, moon, sky, earth, fire, air, water, rock, stars.
The Saturday premiere of Tenchi Muyo at 10:30. The Garlic Jr. Saga at 11. And the Powerpuff Girls at 11:30. The most anime on Saturday outside of Japan. Tsunami, the Rising Sun. Saturday from 9 to noon. A day which will live in infamy.
Reactor engaged. Faction locked. All go.
Hello, everybody. I hope you're all doing well. And I hope you've had a good weekend so far, that you had a good week previous. So, let's see what's going to happen in all of this. Let me know if the new music is a bit too loud, because it's new music and I didn't get the chance to test it. I'm glad all of you decided to join me today, although I'm so very sorry that you all have such terrible taste as to want to join me on any of this, but, you know, you are what you are. Let me just try to find something here. Aha, okay. I now have what I need for a certain spot in this little response. So, as I'm sure is, you know, news to literally nobody, Just a Robot has put out another response, because I suppose the first one wasn't good enough, which, while true, not in the direction he wanted it to be. So, Jar put out a new response, and everybody's been eating him alive. Even Diesel Patches put out, like, a video eating him alive over it, because, honestly, it's not good. Thank you, Vinkman, for the $5 super chat. Resonded. Yes, I know. I spelled it wrong and correctly to begin with. Oh, we also have Goji Lion, another $5. Thank you. Best of luck not losing your mind. Go over and Jar's new video. I'll need it. And then from Clover Thing, $2. Thank you. Don't hear the music? Okay, let's try turning it up a little. There we go. You should be able to hear it a little better now. My apologies. Didn't get a sound balance. It's not good, and he says some very interesting things in it. Thank you, just a word I'm not going to say. $2, victim mode engage. Yes, yes. Now, for the rest of them, the rest of the super chats, I'll be happy to read them out near the end of it. But today, we're just going over Jar, because he is, again, playing victim, because why not? Why not play victim? I'm not really sure what needs to be done at this point, if anything, concerning Jar. Because this stream I'm going to have a lot of fun with, for lack of a better word. There's some other things I do need to at some point talk about. One of which I need to have a conversation with somebody before I stream about it. And another thing, I need to decide whether or not I want to talk about it all on my own channel. And that'd be the heat and stuff. I'm not sure about that one yet. So, give me your thoughts, I guess, and we'll go from there. Alright, so let's go ahead and get into this. It's a 33-minute long video, 33 minutes and 54 seconds. And let's see what Clinker with the hard R thinks.
There's going to be no voice filter, no gameplay, no fancy editing, no nothing like that. Just me trying to explain myself to the best of my abilities.
I missed something.
My last response was far from good, to say the least.
He said something very interesting at the beginning, alright? So just give me a minute. Let me adjust my mic, so let me mute it real quick. There we go. Now you guys don't have to worry about a big click. So, going to go right back to the beginning. My apologies. Now we're going to hit probably from the beginning. Oh, video's a little quiet. I mean, it's all the way up on... Oh, turn it up here then. I know. I'm a professional streamer, everybody. Copyright.
Hello everyone, it's me Luke. No, not Jar, Luke. There's gonna be no voice filter, no gameplay, no fancy editing, no nothing like that. Just me trying to explain myself to the best of my abilities.
The thing is, if you feel like you have to put out your real name to better get people to believe you're being sincere, you probably shouldn't be a content creator to begin with, because we all use screen names for the most part. Whether you use a screen name or your real name should not change whether or not you're being sincere in what you say. I'm just being honest on that one. Even if you play a character, people should still be able to tell when you are being sincere.
My last response was far from good, to say the least. If it wasn't, then so many people wouldn't be clowning on it. I'm doing something I've never done before. I'm taking things seriously for the very first time in my life. I'm dealing with serious allegations, and serious allegations should be taken seriously.
The problem with this is he shoots himself in the foot, because what that tells us, whether he realizes it or not, is that his first response wasn't serious. It wasn't him actually trying to, Dog-Eye, doggone it, you've been gone for years. You come home from the war. Glad to see you. A long time no see. But no, the problem with Jar saying this is that it, number one, communicates to everybody else, hey, I wasn't actually serious on my last response. That I've been super mad about nobody taking seriously, super mad about people dogging on. Like, why would you put out a response like that? Like, even if you screw up on it. Because I screwed up on some of mine. I'm going to be honest here. Like, probably shouldn't have used the Donkey Kong music. I was just feeling it at the time. I am not good with musicality, alright? I'm not good. But with Jar specifically, this is communicating to other people that nothing he said was genuine or sincere. So, no. Congratulations. Not even 30 seconds in, you shot yourself.
Not like my last response where I was joking around far too much. I'm primarily going to focus on the stuff around Ciney. There's so many allegations against me that if I go over them all at the same time, this video will just end up being a giant mess. I want to get this out of the way now. The version of the Ciney video I uploaded was bad. I would go as far as to say that it was the worst video I ever uploaded. However, I do not believe I would have uploaded this draft of the video if Kumo didn't leak it out first. I want to make this clear. He did not link people.
I don't believe him. I just don't believe him. Because I know Jar well enough to know that, number one, he has done awful videos before. The Toby video was something that's going to constantly bite him in the butt. And for those of you old school fans, if you look at the thumbnail for this stream, you'll notice something in the thumbnail that has been Jar's personal sleep paralysis demon since 2020. So take a look at it. You'll see what I'm talking about. But no, he's done it. He's done it multiple times. I don't believe that the reason why he went with that video is because Kumo leaked it. That would be actually a worse response in general.
People my video or just play a few clips from it. He uploaded it in its entirety from start to finish onto his channel. And yes, he did this all before I released the video myself. This was not a re-upload, this was a pre-upload. I do have some proof that I was working on an...
Now, I want to be clear. There's a lot of discussion about the ethics of doing that. I have my own opinion. I've got to keep it to myself. But at the same time, if Kumo didn't do that, Jar would probably have done more damage than he already did. So, kind of glad he did. Not going to deny that. Not what I would have done, but, you know, it is what it is.
Another draft of the video, such as the fact it was uploaded unlisted days before it went live. I did this so I would have plenty of time to think things over on whether I should upload the video or not.
This is what Jar likes to do, for whatever reason, is he gets videos fully rendered before asking for opinions, for getting things fact-checked, and then, if you're something you do want to correct, or an idea you do have for him, he will fight you tooth and nail on it, because, well, it's already rendered. He's built in excuses for it. And I think so, Axe. I think that's the case here. So, it's a mess, and Jar just keeps making messes for himself. Jar is evidence that what Teddy Roosevelt said is still accurate. If you could kick in the pants the guy who is responsible for 90% of your own problems, you wouldn't be able to sit for a week. Like, honestly, that's definitely Jar. Jar is the guy from the meme who shoves the stick in his own tire spokes and goes, somebody else's fault. Chris, I would never in my life ever adopt Jar. Even when I was doing Found Family, I never would. The only reason I ever would is if it would give me any sort of legal ability for corporal punishment, so I could just beat him. Just beat him a couple times.
I was also sending people the video so they could look it over and give me their thoughts on it. Now I know that some of you are going to call me a liar, because the second draft of my Ciney video was already fully edited. However, the first draft of my Ciney video, which was more negative towards her, was also fully edited as well. I'll link it down below.
Has anybody actually said that? I mean anybody of actual note, not like random commenters. Has anybody said that Jar's lying about putting out a completely edited video? I haven't heard that one.
If you wish to check it out. Here's a clip from it.
The funniest part about all of this is you didn't do what you did with that 14-year-old because you wanted to get with them. You just couldn't stop cooming. You coomed until you groomed. I never even heard of a situation like this happening until now.
It should be noted that I was not happy with that draft of the video as well. I was on Jack's, aka Birdie's, side way too much in it.
The reason Jar regrets that is retrospectively. Not in the fact that he looked at it and said, I was too biased in one direction on this, which is a problem in and of itself, but Jar's argument that he put even in there of, well, I mean, I don't think you wanted to get with her at this point for something like that. It's a distinction without a difference, right? Like if I have a biological kid, or heck, not even biological, let's use one of my nephews. My nephew's or niece, and I find out that somebody's sending them pornography and getting them to read this pornography. I'm not going to sit there across from them and say, well, let's go ahead and get into the weeds. Were you interested in getting with the kid? No, because it's a distinction without a difference. The difference only being that I'll only beat them slightly less, I guess. It's asinine. It is asinine.
Yes, I made this first draft on Ciney before I reached out to her. I was talking about grooming allegations, so I wanted to gain as much info as I possibly could. Honestly, I didn't expect Ciney to add me back, but she did.
I was so ready to tear into you, and this was the day I was going to upload it unlisted for my Patreon supporters, and it was going to go live tomorrow.
When I interviewed Ciney, I wanted to make it seem like I was on her side as much as possible so she wouldn't run away.
Here's the thing, right? Ideally, you could do that, right? Ideally, you could talk to somebody who's facing some awful accusations or somebody who's done horrific wrong politely, kindly, in order to get them comfortable so they can talk to you and maybe slip up. I know people like Valji have done that in some cases. Vlad, oddly enough, has also done that in some cases. Even I have. But if you go back and you actually listen to the call, since it's public now, that's not what Jar did. What Jar did was take her side, talk about how she's not these horrible things, validating that, and then talking about his own problems with the ACC. Most of that call is about Jar, not about Ciney. Go back and re-listen to it. It's on the channel. Dead serious. Go listen.
I want to make this clear, I wasn't pulling an op on her or anything like that. I was just trying to make sure my information was correct. I told Ciney I would be making another version of the video in favor of her before I reached out to Jack and Enno.
But, yeah, I'm going to be changing my video a lot, and I'm also going to have to reach out to Jack because, for all I know, you're
Uh-oh! Have fun with that. Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm going to get the video ready because knowing Jack, they're probably gonna panic and try to control the narrative,
Of course, and that's gonna be hilarious, but...
Yes, this was indeed very stupid on my part.
That could apply to so many things. Now, granted, I don't exactly do the smartest thing all the time either. I'm not gonna pretend otherwise. I am certainly not without my faults. But Jar... How do I put this? If Jar had an opportunity to stick his joystick in a blender, he probably would do it just because it's the dumbest thing in the world to do.
I thought because I made a video bashing her before I reached out to her, that I should do the same but in reverse. My roommate, Professor Dreadlock, was also getting ready to go on a very long business trip, so I couldn't go over all of the long Ciney documents with him. I have one of the worst cases of dyslexia in the world, so it's very hard for me to read. Professor Dreadlock, on the other hand, is an extremely fast reader. A few people have pointed out that at the start of the Ciney...
The thing is, Jar's video makes it very clear he read the doc based on some things he cites in it. In both of them, actually. So he can sit there and say, Dreadlock, 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 I was waiting on Dreadlock, Dreadlock, but the point is, it was all still there. It's all still there. And there's him constantly backtracking on all that.
Draft that I uploaded, I claimed that I went through the doc. That was a lie. It wouldn't have been a lie if that draft didn't get leaked, but I have that recorded because I was going to go through the doc with my roommate before I decided to upload that draft or not.
Let's assume, in Fantasyland here, that Jar's telling the truth, and that he lied about reading the doc, which he didn't lie about that, he did, he just skimmed it. Why in the world, logically, would you go through and make an entire video, 2 videos actually, talking about a situation with docs out that you, by your own admission, haven't properly read? One would think, perhaps, with the knowledge Jar has and the experience he has in this community, that that would not end well. But, you know, I guess Dreadlocks is the one at fault for not being home to babysit this grown man.
For anyone who knows me personally, you know how slow of a reader I am. You've seen me misspell things multiple times. The idea that I read through both docs very carefully by myself is an absolutely ridiculous notion. In my initial draft, I was just listening to the popular opinion and quickly skimmed the 2 documents, mostly looking at the pictures on screen.
The first part there is the important part. You listen to the popular opinions. I would beg for this man to get his own thoughts.
When I heard that there were a few people defending Ciney, not saying that she was completely innocent, just that she wasn't as guilty as some were portraying her to be, I decided to reach out to Ciney, along with those who were defending her, to get their side of the story as well. After all, I've seen multiple dramas where everybody's bashing one person, only for...
Wait, hold on. Who did he reach out to that's defending her? Because I don't recall that ever being part of the discussion.
The entire situation to be reversed later. I didn't want to just...
It was reversed because other people got involved and then you took the credit for it. That's all that is. Jar coming to the battle after it's ended, waving his standard and saying, I am the hero here, as his armor has no dings, no blood, no nothing.
Side with a popular opinion, only to find out that I spread misinformation later on. But why spend so much time editing the video before I even look through the 2 documents? I have to plan ahead on these things. After all, adding in my avatar takes a lot more time and effort than just adding in gameplay or recording my face.
No, it doesn't really take all that much time, honestly. It's just dragging and dropping. It's literally one button.
I knew that this situation was still ongoing and that more information was coming out. I could take my time on this video and remake it over and over again, of course salvaging what I could along the way.
Or you could just do what literally every other human being does that, for the most part, is in these spaces and just work on a script, put it out there. Here's what I'll do, right? Even when I'm just going to be even blunter about this. When I'm doing a review of a Thundercat episode, or talking about in depth about its production, I don't just sit there and do it all in one day, and then edit it all together in one day with all that in one step. What I tend to do is I will watch the episode, right? And as I'm at work, because I do a lot of driving, I have it running through my head. What are my thoughts on it? What are the after show notes about it? What does the production say about it? And I'll get my thoughts together and start scrambling that in, and I start typing it into a script on Notepad because I'm old. And then I can form it together. I will look over it a couple times, see if that's what I want to say, see if that's how it goes. And sometimes even when I'm reading out the audio, I can change it, right? I can change what I'm writing. Lou here, poor girl, edited the audio for the last episode I did, and God, I flubbed tons of stuff, right? It's not something that you can just excuse with, well, if I had more time. You had all the time in the world. You just wanted to put something out there fast because Jar was hoping for relevancy, not accuracy. And we've had this discussion before. In fact, if you go back and you listen to the call I had with Junkie and Manga Comment in 2020, I make it very clear correct information matters more than quick information.
Or I could just get cold feet and not upload any draft of the video. After I made the first draft, I was not happy with it, so I wanted to remake it after getting Ciney and her friend's side of the story. Then I was going to remake it again after looking at the anti-Ciney side in more detail, and after me and my roommate looked through the doc in more detail.
I want you to sit there and think about how unspeakably stupid what he just said is. He's going to make an entire video pro, and then listen to the pro Ciney stuff, and then make an entire video anti, and then this is the dumbest way as possible to handle anything. And the sad thing is that it makes a lot of sense for Jar, right? Because if Jar's one of those people who primarily goes with the popular opinion, he's going to do things based on what other people are doing. So maybe he does do multiple different videos and puts out the one that has the most quote-unquote correct take on it. So, yeah, that sounds about right for him.
But you already knew all of this if you see my last response. Unfortunately for me, I had no proof of this. I didn't record any calls about this because I never expected my video to get leaked. Until today. I completely forgot what I said about my Ciney video in my call with Vincent Skullman. Ratsu, a person who interviewed me, you might have seen it around, later became friends with me because she came to the conclusion that the drama around me was overblown. I am happy with the friendship I developed with her. She has been extremely understanding and
The reason why I'm laughing about that, alright? So Falchi's here in the chat with the Yacht Block. Ratsu was part of his community, right? And she was talking about how she's doing this long form op on Jar and how she's using the mommy voice to get him to talk, open up. Then, of course, she doesn't release all the calls. She just released a 90 segment of it. And at some point, apparently, this is what Cloudy, Fauci's partner, told me. Cloudy is a... At some point, I wonder if Cloudy is like some sort of cryptid, because I can't really get a read on them, right? It's one of those people I wouldn't want to mess with because I don't know what she really is. She flatly told me that at one point, Ratsue was screaming in Opblock, the server, about how Jar's a child predator because his girlfriend is small. And I know who his girlfriend is. It's not a child. But here's Jar saying, oh, they've been a good friend to me. They've been a good friend to me. It's like, brother, do you know what this person says when you're not around or what they have? They're not exactly the most reliable source on the planet. I can promise you that. So let's hear what else. What else has to be said? It's really interesting. It's really interesting.
And kind to me. She told me that Vincent Skullman sent Lio Convoy our call, and apparently Lio Convoy demanded that Vincent Skullman not upload it under any circumstances. Now Ratsu could be lying to me.
Here we go. Now here's the problem again Jar has, right? Jar has been running his mouth about me, even though he still has me added, even though he hasn't said a word to me, he still runs his mouth about me, about how Lio, he tried to op me. Lio was just setting me up. Lio is conspiring against me. And here it's Lio told Ratsu, yada yada. Okay, so first thing. Vincent didn't send me that call. Right? Never once did Vincent send me that call. And I don't even know how Ratsui found out I heard about it, except for the fact that the possibility of Ratsui talking to Vincent, which makes sense. Somebody else completely separate handed me that call. And I have it, by the way. Shout out to that person for saving it. Here's what I said to Vincent, which Jar could have asked at any time, or even could have asked Vincent. Now, to be clear, this is not the Vincent that recently defended Jar, all right? This is a different Vincent. This is Vincent Skullman we're talking about. One who had gotten in trouble in Senate a couple of years ago for trying to pit Jar against a literal child for his own amusement because it got butthurt over being called out for being stupid about something. And to be clear, if Vincent continues to get stupid, like he has been, I'll just put out the calls. Because everybody's like, oh, the Senate's a bad place. You yell at people all the time. I handled Vincent with the biggest of possible kid gloves. In fact, the call where all that happened, I literally said, we're not canceling you. We don't hate you or tossing you aside. Like, this is just corrective action, essentially. Like, don't do this crap again. Vincent came to me about something completely unrelated. And I decided, since I know he put out a video concerning me to try to ride the anti-Lio hate in 2024, because he is genuinely just a dishonest person. To his core, that's who Vincent is. Because Vincent tried saying, well, I lied in the Senate call because I wouldn't accept any other answer, which is not true, either of those things. I decided to press him. So, he got nothing out of me, but here's what I said to him. I said, so yes, this conversation is concluded. I owe you nothing. I have no reason to trust you, and this entire, whatever it is, has nothing to do with you. The last thing I'll leave you with is this. If you ever, you ever release the call you had with Jar in October, then you better snip out what he says about Ponder and her crew. Now, I know Ponder's under fire right now. There's valid reason for it. I'm probably going to put out something short to just give a thought about it and tell people to be patient. But what he said in this call is unhinged. All right? Unhinged. Because what he did is he called these three people, Ponder and the two individuals he was referring to, he called them apologists of a very specific act that should not be perpetrated on anybody, right? It lacks consent, I'll put it that way. Which they've never once done. None of them ever said that. Jar's just a spiteful, vindictive piece of garbage who will just throw things at people, whatever makes them feel better. So I said, if you put that out, because I had no problem with him doing it, right? If you put that out, clip that out because they don't deserve that. And then I said, they don't deserve that vile gossips being spread about them, much less publicly. That is what I said to do. I did not say, under no circumstances are you to release this, you scallywag. No, I said, if you do it, stupid, clip this out. Moron. Now granted, he didn't put it out. I might. I don't know. Maybe we'll go over it on stream sometime. Tell me guys what you want to do. So, yeah. That's what that's in relation to. So, either Jar lied, Ratsu lied, or whatever. Either way, none of them fact-check Dick. Because why would you do that? Why would you do that? That makes sense.
But this did make me listen to the call, and I heard things that really piqued my interest. As you can see from the timestamps on screen, I had this call with Vincent only 15 hours I sent the last part of my Ciney video to my editor, Lorenzo. Now I want to make this clear so someone doesn't claim that I lied. I did send Lorenzo a few more parts for the Ciney video after this call, but they were very small changes. This was the last...
Gonna interject, who cares? Because I know what Jar's doing here. Jar's doing everything he always does. Like, oh, this is a conspiracy. Oh, they don't want it released because there's something secret in that call I admitted to that's going to change everything. No, stupid. If you had asked, you would have seen why. I don't care if Vincent releases the call, so long as he snicks out the nonsense that you ran your idiot mouth about. Doofus.
That's the big part I sent to him.
I've been interviewing people, I've been looking into this deeper, and I'm not...
People. One person.
Saying Ciney is innocent, I want to make that clear. It's just more people in this situation are guilty than you might think. The problem is, I know this community. They're going to twist it into me defending a groomer, and I'm like, that's not what I'm doing in the video.
But it is what you did in the video. And who else was guilty? Because you didn't say... And neither of his takes, by the way, did he ever claim anybody else was guilty of anything. Right? But that's what he's saying here. Well, I was saying that more than people than Ciney are guilty. You didn't, though. So you lied to Vincent. And, of course, by proxy, you lied to us. So, you know, fun.
And I don't want to talk about it too far anymore with you because, like, I don't want anything to get leaked because I've been working on this for literal weeks. But I have been gathering a lot of information. I have been going back and reworking on the video because I want to make it clear I'm not saying Ciney is innocent.
As you can hear clear as crystal, I was emphasizing to Vincent Skullman that my video's purpose was not to convince people that Ciney was innocent, just less guilty.
Why would you do that, though? Well, we know why. The reason why you did it was because you were hoping she'd be part of your anti-ACC cabal to take on art commentary people who didn't care about you. But you know what? I'll give you guys a little snippet of Jar's character, right? So, I'll think about it, Chris. So, as you all know, I was trying to be friends with Jar. I tried to help him resolve problems instead of making videos. All that other stuff. Went out of my way, took shots for him, whatever I needed to do, right? Right? For Chuli, dear Chuli, I will do that in one sentence. They're all heretical, and they should all be condemned. Anyways, so here's what he had to say about me in this call he never thought would come out.
Stuff really weighs on your mental health. You never know what people are going to do. Like, the whole reason why I became friends with Lio is because I wanted to use him to talk things out with people. In fact, that's one of the reasons why I didn't bring Lio into the first call me and you had, because I was like, I don't want him to get involved. He's going to get pissed off at you for blowing me off for several months. He's not going to be happy about that. So I kept him out of the call because I just wanted to be me and you.
Yeah.
The entire reason I became friends with Laya was to use him. Now, I'm not going to sit here and play pretend that it's not obvious that people have gotten close to me or become my friend in a lot of cases just to try to manipulate that or to use goodwill. And some people have thrown me under the bus because I know it's no longer that benefit to them. They will get what's coming to them sooner or later. They all do. But yeah, Jar just saw me as a tool, and now that I was not a useful tool, well, he's going to be a scumbag. That's fine. But the truth is, whether Jar wants to recognize it or not, he did defend a groomer. Saying it's less serious than, say, I don't know, V Omega or Vita or whoever is kind of irrelevant because you still did it. You're still an idiot for doing it. And everybody, here's the thing. Anybody who is Jar's friend, pay very close attention to that, right? And we're going to get into some of them later on because I got some things to say about some of these people, right? Pay very close attention to that. Question your friendship. Especially the people in this video, because I can almost promise you to a man, every person he's friends with in here is to play this game. It's not even a game he's good at, though. That, and I don't need... Here, I'm just going to say it blunt. One of the problems with gay-opping Jar last year is that it was completely unnecessary. When you gay-op somebody, it usually should be to pry out information they, under normal circumstances, would not give, data they would not want to relate to you unless they trusted you. Jar kills himself every time he talks. You don't have to pry info from Jar. He just gives it to you. It doesn't matter who you are. He doesn't have a filter. You don't need to opt Jar to get him to say stupid crap about himself. Just let him talk. Continuing.
You can also tell that I didn't want anything to get leaked out because I put so much work into this already. Along with the fact that I stated that I'm going to go back to rework on the video to make it...
I put more work in my general... You know what? I'm just going to be mean. The current Power Ranger shorts I've been putting out for the past week, and I'll be doing the rest of this month, that you all should watch. I put more work in that than Jar did these videos. Number one, because I paid money for them. Number two, it takes me an entire day to shoot an entire week's worth of product or reviews, and then I have to edit it all together. I objectively take more time and put more work into whatever I'm doing than Jar does. So no. No. Just no!
Clear, I'm not saying that Ciney is innocent. I just wanted to finish what I had for now so I could go over it and see what needed to be changed and what I could salvage.
The first situation I was ever in with this, that I ever got into with this whole community was the Princess Elizabeth 013 drama. When she was 14, people would send her, like, pictures of Rouge the Bat raping her avatar. People above the age of 30.
I want to be very clear here. You think the ACC is bad? And it is. The DeviantArt ranters were just as unhinged. And here's the actual problem when it comes to this community, right? Whether it be ACC or SCC. And I want to be very clear here. And I know I say that a lot because I don't know, it's just how I talk. Perhaps I got it from other people I knew. A while ago, I was thinking maybe this community can be salvaged, right? Maybe keeping decent people around and rebuilding it would, you know, without tearing it completely down would be a good answer. You know, whatever. I am no longer of that opinion. Because if you know anything about construction, and believe it or not, I actually do have a background in construction. Right? I did construction a lot when I was younger. You cannot salvage a building that's foundation is a complete and utter mess. Sure, you can patch the cracks. Sure, you can maybe seal some things up, but it will continue to break because the foundation is flawed to begin with. Whether you didn't mix things right, whether you didn't have everything level, whatever. You can't build on that. And the basis, the foundation for the SCC and ACC, because one came from the other, ACC came out of SCC, is the DeviantArt Ranters. And what did they do? What did the DeviantArt Ranters do? What were they most well known for? Was it for having logical, rational takes about art, having in-depth discussions about technique and whatnot? And I want to be clear, when I say ACC, all right, I mean the drama channels. I mean the people who are unhinged, who are horrifically inconsistent in what they do, who target people every week depending on what they want to do. Not like the Fiona Polos or the Duchess Celestias or the Starfish Faces who literally just like, hey, I like art. Let's talk about art. Let's talk about this technique. Let's talk about this discussion. Let's talk about yada, yada, yada. They talk about topics, not people, not drama. Or if they do talk about drama, it's legal drama. Like that one guy who like copyrighted Inktober, or that one guy who copyrighted a specific type of black shade of black. Those are not things that are drama in the sense of ruining people's lives needlessly or for things they screwed up on. It's usually just, here's something major happening we need to address because yada, 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 right? I disagree, Ephraim, because I know where your origins are. But the only survivor of the SCC is Ephraim. Anyways, the point is, you cannot build on a foundation of these DeviantArt ranters, because getting back to that, all they did was bully children. And I don't mean like in Dress to Impress or in Roblox, where apparently you can't type "your mother doesn't love you." They will block that out. Last I checked. That like that stuff, like just having fun and just haha, I pwned you, whatever. I mean, as in dogging on them, harassing them, stalking them, breaking down everything they do, ceaselessly talking about all their accounts and their art. Because here's the thing, right? I remember being a kid. I remember the mammoth hunts. I remember all that stuff. When you are a child, essentially every adult, with the exception, of course, of your parents, who are obviously on a higher level, are essentially of the same authoritative threshold. I cannot imagine being a kid, being like 13, 12, 14, in school, knowing there's like hundreds of thousands of adults that hate me because I drew Sonic the Hedgehog a specific way. That will actually drive someone crazy. That will severely damage somebody. Hey, Viaque, why don't you go ahead and take your goofy little UTTP kids and go swat more people like you've been doing, all right? And when you're done with that, grab a knife, put it in your neck, and pull all the way to the left. Anyways, that's why you can't do that. Now, back to Jar.
Were doing that, and when I called that out, I got accused of being a pedo, because why else would I defend a 14-year-old? So it's just like, my, have the turns have tabled. The thing is, like, I looked at the comic, the thing is, though, the doc maker didn't censor out anything. It was actually Ciney who sent it out, censored it herself when she sent it. And when I found out that...
That's irrelevant. That is so irrelevant. Look, put yourselves in the perspective of a parent, right? If you found out somebody gave your kid pornography, like some full-grown adult gave your kid pornography, but you found out that like sticky notes were put on top of the nudity, would you care? Or would you be like, no, I'm still gonna beat you to death because you gave my kid porn? It's irrelevant.
That out, I was like, wow, that makes things way less bad. It's still pretty bad. But it's not as bad. Like, if you send a minor uncensored porn, it's worse than sending them censored porn. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could just not send them porn at all. That simple.
Yeah, it's still overall fucking but it's gonna kind of lessen the blow.
Thanks to reaching out to Ciney and her friends, I could make the information clear that she censored out the doc herself. I did not disagree with Vincent when he said it's still overall yeah, because I agreed with that.
Well, at the same time, Vincent should have given you more pushback, but Vincent was too busy hoping he would get a smidge of clout, because that's what Vincent does, right? What Vincent Skullman does is he tries to do work or piggyback off of topics other larger people do to gain favor with them and get shout-outs. Because that's what he's done in the last one, too, right? Now, him and the people he's trying to cavort with have deleted certain tweets, and I do know about them. Just be aware of that. Regardless of how you feel about the target they're going after, that's just scumbag behavior and dishonesty at its nature, right? If you're going to do something stupid, own it.
Sending a minor porn of any kind is bad, censored or not, but censoring it is still less bad than sending uncensored porn. At the end of the day...
Okay, so we hit them with 3 lashes instead of 3.5. Gotcha.
They're both bad, but I wanted to get my information correct. Here's my opinion. Ciney was very inappropriate. She deserves to get backlash, but I do not think she's a pedo. I don't think she's the next Cosmodor. I don't think...
Okay, I'm going to put on our thinking caps here for a moment. Why would you send pornography to a child, wanting them to read it, wanting to rate their responses, talking about how cute their little kid voice is, if it was not for sexual gratification, right? Here's the thing. If this was Ciney, like, how do I put this? Let's go ahead and go into the realm of fiction for a moment, right? If Inno was an obnoxious piece of garbage, quote-unquote piece of garbage, I want to be clear, I'm not actually calling a kid a piece of garbage. If they were being obnoxious, harassing them, whatever, and Ciney, like, spammed them with porn to try to get them to go away, that's something that would still be horrifically unacceptable. I want to be very clear on that, right? Horrifically unacceptable, but it wouldn't be the same as trying to gear that kid's, like, enticement to the pornography you were sending them, right? Jar is trying to take two things that are far closer together and trying to make one less because it suits his narrative, which you can't really do in this case. You cannot sit there and send a child pornography, asking them to explain to you their reaction, specifically of a rape comic, and play pretend that it's for anything other than sexual gratification. I'm sorry, but no.
She's a pedo because, like, I'm going to be honest here.
Correct, one up. It is still a felony. So, again, still unacceptable.
I think she would have done this with anyone. I think she's just an Omega Coomer, but she's not, like, a...
If she could have done it with anyone, she could have done it with anyone, which means they didn't have to be a kid. That still is a bad argument to make.
Pedo. And that's pretty much my whole take on this situation. The problem is, if you don't say that Ciney is literally the living embodiment of Satan, people will twist it. Even back then, I didn't believe that Ciney was a pedo or trying to get with the minor, and I have kept that opinion consistent throughout the...
If Jar thought that he could get some attention and some clout or get him to do work, Jar would unquestionably hang out with Satan. Just putting that out there.
This entire drama around me, and even in my old draft. In my opinion, Ciney was not trying to get with the minor romantically or sexually. She still messed up really, really badly, and she deserves to get bashed for it. Anytime
And this is part of the problem I've told Jar to his face, right? And I did so in the call we had this on my channel. What Jar likes to do is when he wants to just offend somebody, even if they are a horrible human being, he gets so hung up on tiny little things that just do not matter in the long run. For example, with the Tina Fey stuff, even though I sat there to his face and told him the problem isn't inherently just the age gap, is that this person solicited a minor for nudes by also catfishing them. That is manipulation. That is coercion. They could not give any form of consent to begin with, much less when they are being lied to. And I had to literally raise my voice at Jar to get him to back down from that point, which apparently he's still mad about, by the way. Or when it comes to Kai Weiss, where Jar, I had to unironically talk him out of doing an entire video talking about, well, some people got some things wrong about Kai Weiss, and it needs to be discussed. No, Judson Jar. And I asked him, does it change the fact that Kai Weiss has a criminal record now? Well, no, then it doesn't matter. Who cares? Oh my God, who cares? This is what he does. He thinks that obsessing on very small minutiae somehow changes the entire landscape. It doesn't.
I defended someone who was getting bashed, even a little bit, I always received major backlash. Whenever I have defended someone, whether it's Mari, Antunes, or Peaches, I've never claimed that they were perfect little angels who never did anything wrong.
Well, in fairness, he also shouldn't have defended Antune, and I've told him that to his face as well. Moron.
I'm just saying that they're not as guilty as people have portrayed them to be. If you commit a crime, yes, you should be held responsible for it, but you shouldn't be held responsible for a greater crime that you have not committed.
And by whose value system are we operating on that? I'm curious. What does Jar think that the crime should be? Because, spoiler alert, I'm going to talk about it a little bit later, right? There's other things Jar says, specifically in the Vincent call, that's not good.
Realistically, I have no issue at this point.
Oh, well, that's good. I wish more people in the Art CC would do what you do. I wish we could just sit down and have a nice chat over a cup of tea, but, you know, things just have to escalate. And I did thank you for making the video because I was getting a little overconfident, and when I go into a situation with the expectation that I'm going to lose, that's when I do my best. Like, you know how I got canceled to begin with? I got overconfident in the Toby drama. That's what happened. And you making that video probably saved my ass. The reason why I thank Vincent for making his video on me is because I thought it would save me in the long run.
Nobody cares. Oh my God, nobody cares. And of course you thought it would save you in the long run. It was somebody you could piggyback off of and hopefully get some clout from. Doofus.
Of course, before I could go back and change things to make myself sound less confident, Kumo leaked out the
Wait, to make yourself sound less confident? So were you less confident, or did you just want to manipulate people into thinking you were, so you could have something to backtrack on?
Draft, and I panicked uploaded what I had. Vincent may have saved me, but Kumo doomed me. Well,
no. Kumo did not doom you, Jar. You doomed yourself. This is your decision, your fault. If this was truly not your final draft, you could have just said, hey, there's something I was working on and I was using it like experimentally to see if I could argue against it. Right? Use it as a thought, a thought process, a thought experiment. You could have done that instead. Instead, you're like, well, we got to upload the most asinine take ever known to man. Like, okay, when I wrote my first draft, right, of my response, it was, whenever I do a first draft of something that affects me that emotionally, is essentially just a vent draft, right? I said some very angry things in there. I talked about things I had no intention of talking about, but that was not like a fully edited video. That was literally a draft that was leaked by somebody who was being malicious for reasons of just plain maliciousness. Not because I was defending a horrible person, right? It's not the same thing. But even then, Jar turns around and just uploads it as his take completely and then gets upset when people take that as his take. If you go look at my video, it is not like the initial draft, because why would it be? This makes no sense. This man is arguing stupidly.
Well, I'm glad we could sit down and have this talk, because, like, the main thing I want for people to know is I'm not as mean as people think I am. I'd rather just sit down and talk. Yep,
If he wasn't as mean as people thought he was, why would he hold on to things for over a decade in anger? And again, we're not talking about, like, somebody did something awful to me as a child. We're not talking about somebody threatening your life or making you disabled. We're talking about internet beef that he lays in bed raging about in his mind. It's a bit of a different matter altogether. Jar sits there and says, well, I would rather have talked to people. The only reason he ever did is because I facilitated them. Because when Jar doesn't get them, he becomes unhinged. He did it to Mally. He'll do it to other people. He did it to Vincent. He's not portraying himself as the person he actually is.
I truly wanted a peaceful solution to a lot of the situations I find myself in. I just have a habit of pissing people off unintentionally, and I wish I didn't.
No!
No ordinary person would have been able to read them.
No. Kumo sent me a friend request.
Kumo?
Mr. Everybody's a Pedophile But Me is contacting me.
But remember, Jar interviewed every person who was defending Ciney. He went to them, even though here, obviously, Kumo went to Jar.
You can tell that even back then, I knew Kumo being around me wasn't a good thing. Before you ask, no, I did not send Kumo the video. Goblin Girl sent it to him after I told her not to.
Actually, no. I'm not going to tell you who did it. But it was not Romantic Goblin. No, she got made fun of for doing something else, also unhinged. But it wasn't her. It was somebody else, and I'm not going to tell you who, because that's just really funny.
I told her not to send it to anyone because I was still looking over things.
In this hypothetical, you have a roommate, right?
Yeah, alright.
You find out that your roommate is a threat to children, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, do you A, call the police, or B, ask for $10,000?
Right, okay.
You ask for $10,000 million, obviously. Look, I'm not going to argue that my apologies. Jack should have commented, to call the police. Should have done something like that. But no, Jar couldn't care less about that. That's the truth of the matter. Because if Jar was handling this and it was his roommate who did it, Jar probably put out a video to defend him.
You see what I mean, right?
They should have contacted some form of authority that could, deal with this.
Yeah, like, I find it disgusting that people are...
Did I mastermind? Oh well, everybody knows now, who cares?
Talking more about Jack and Ciney's, living situation than, the fucking minor who may or may not have been groomed.
One of my stances on the drama was that things should have been more focused on the minor Eno, and not on Ciney's relationship with Jack so much. I was also iffy at...
yeah, you could make that argument, but you didn't.
At this point in time, whether what Ciney did was grooming or not. I was going to talk to Vincent Skullman about this call, but then I realized that all of his drama videos, including the 2 new ones he made on me, are gone. And both of his Twitters are currently locked. Huh, that's kind of weird. Now you might try to claim that I'm...
Again, Jar spins conspiracy. Jar spins conspiracy. Vincent Skullman's channel and whatnot, or the videos are removed and his Twitter's locked down, not because of Jar. It's because the moron decided, I'm not gonna listen to wise counsel and keep my nose out of somebody else's business. He decided, I'm gonna try to gain clout by another YouTuber and obsess over this other individual, and then put out information about them that could lead to them being doxxed. And then suddenly, when that person responds and he started getting blowback, suddenly I realized I had made a terrible mistake. That's why. It had nothing to do with Jar. But you reap what you sow.
I'm a liar. After all, that's a lot of money to spend on 2 different drafts of a video, so why would I spend even more money on a 3rd draft? Well, the thing is, Lorenzo is just about my cheapest editor. He lives in the Philippines where the US dollar goes very far. $5 to us is about $20 to them. Any payment he asked for, I would give it to him, even after he asked for an extra $100 after I started getting cancelled for the Ciney drama. I just gave it to him. But apparently, from what I have been told, he started going around telling people that I underpaid him.
No, actually he didn't. I don't know where he keeps... Here's what Jar loves to do. For some asinine reason. What he really loves to do is go around saying, I heard this, I heard that, I heard this, that, this, that, without, number one, citing who said it. Number two, proving anything he's saying. He just addresses things nobody cares about or nobody's actually said because he thinks there's a point to make. You know who told Lorenzo he was being underpaid? Me. Because he is. You can sit there and say, well, the American dollar goes for a lot more. It spreads a lot easier in the Philippines. And if you are willing to pay an editor like Lorenzo, who's very skilled at his job, I want to be very clear here, very skilled at his job, less than another editor just because they live in the United States, die. Right? Just die. You should pay the person in the third world country, which, is awful. You should pay him equivalent, if not more, than the person who lives comfortably. Why? Because obviously they freaking need it. Just don't be a dick. And on top of that, thank you, Lynn, for reminding me, for the Camila Cuevas video, Jar commissioned Loon in the chat to make the thumbnail for it, and then never finished paying them. They still owe Loon $50. So, maybe pay people what you owe them. Maybe. Just a little bit. Don't be a dick and exploit people just because you know you can. You can always tell somebody's nature, right? By how they treat people who are powerless against them. Right there. A non-point he's making.
Even though I always paid him what we agreed upon. If he wanted more money, he could have always asked for it. Now, Kumo claiming that he uploaded my draft to the...
I wonder if Jar's ever asked for a raise at work. Things to ask.
Video to stop me is the biggest load of bullshit I've ever heard in my life. As far as I'm aware, that has never worked in the history of YouTube, and it doesn't make any sense. Uploading someone else's video...
And yet it worked here. Not because it stopped you, because it made you kind of commit seppuku.
Go onto your channel before they have a chance to upload it themselves doesn't stop them from uploading it. In my last response video, I asked people to show me examples of where this has ever worked, and no one has provided one single example. Personally speaking, I've never even heard of something like this happening before. I do not believe...
Who cares? Who cares? No, see, I'm asking, who cares if it's something that's happened before? It's irrelevant. And he says, from the very beginning, Kumo acted maliciously as the leader of the group defending Ciney. I think he felt threatened when a larger YouTuber got involved. No. He just hates Jar. Now, there's some justified reasons why he hates Jar. There's some things he said that are not exactly the best. But I'm not going to dog on him for it because it's due to something he can't control. And I'm not going to treat somebody like that cruelly. But it's not because Jar is just so big and bad that somebody felt threatened. Jar, there's not a man alive that knows how to work and has his own place that's scared of you. For any reason whatsoever. In fact, the only reason I think anybody's ever scared of you is if they tend to be, AFAB and wanting to avoid you. For the obvious reasons.
Believe Kumo has any interest in protecting me or the truth. He was...
And before you run with speculation, when I say for the obvious reason, I don't mean because you're a predator. I mean because you're a creepy little weirdo. And I'm not sure, Trent. I got a lot on my plate right now. There's a lot of things on the backlog. Some things just take priority over that.
Trying to convince Ciney that my end goal was to rape her.
Like, I knew how this guy was. I warned you how he was. I told you what position you were in, and I was very conscious and scared on your behalf because of what position you're in. Jar could have raped you, and that's probably what he was trying to, like... That was probably his dream, his end goal.
In my humble opinion, it's far more likely that Kumo did what he did to keep me from reaching out to Jack and Enno to get their sides of the story. Or maybe he looked at this draft of the video and thought, wow, this is terrible, I better upload it in case Jar changes his mind about doing so himself.
No. Again, this is all just conspiracy that only suits Jar's purposes. None of that's true. He hated it. And he hates you. That's why he did it. Had nothing to do with all these conspiracy takes you're trying to have on it.
I'm pretty sure that if I didn't upload what I had, Kumo would have told people that I didn't upload it because I saw the backlash underneath his video. And if I claimed that this was just an early draft of the video, people would have said that I was lying. You can even hear in the last voice message I sent to Ciney that my confidence was pretty much all gone, and that I was getting cold feet about this entire situation.
Listen, Ciney, I can't promise this will fix everything for you, or even anything for you. I don't want you to feel like you have a false sense of hope. I'll do what I can, but that's it. I helped Peaches out, but the allegations on you are much more rough. But I'm going to do what I can to help, because I know this shit is and will leak into your real life.
This is part of the reason as to...
Why has he always got to bring up past dramas as if they have any relevance? If you're having surgery, you shouldn't be eating anything in the morning, honestly. I would recommend not doing that at all.
Why I freaked out so much in the DMs with Ciney and Goblin Girl after I saw that Kumo uploaded the video.
What was really funny is before the video got leaked, Jar was already upset. So when he finally posted it out and people were arguing in the comments, he was begging Romantic Goblin to go in and argue with people for him and with him. It was amazing.
Himself. My thought process wasn't, oh no, Kumo uploaded the video before I did. I wanted to do that first. My thought process was...
Real quick, Tico Taco, I actually don't remember you at all, but I guess I accept your apology.
Oh no, everybody is going to believe that this is my final draft of the video. Now if you don't...
He spends a lot of time talking about something nobody cares about that we've gone over a million times. Yes, it was uploaded without your consent. Yes, you probably shouldn't have done that. Yes, it was not your quote-unquote final draft, except for the fact that in our call, you said that it was as close to your final draft as possible. So, you know, whatever.
Don't believe me that I wouldn't have uploaded this video if Kumo didn't do what he did. Why is it that the first time I ever receive massive backlash is the same time a draft of my video is leaked? If you think it's...
I mean, it's not the first time, though. You faced massive backlash in 2020. To the point to where you unironically bent the knee to people that you thought were wrong simply because they had the greater appeal to the public and you wanted people to leave you alone. Which, I'm going to be very clear, is cowardly. And I hate cowardice.
It's just a coincidence, then stars aligned. That's quite a coincidence. I can already hear what the live streamers reacting to this video are saying. Jar, you're just using this as an excuse. Then why give me that excuse? Let me upload the video myself before you leak it.
The streamers had nothing to do with it. And to be clear, to my knowledge, not a single streamer said that. Instead, they're too busy calling you slurs. Hi, Chris.
And then bash me for it. I was bashed when I went against the grain in both the Toby and the Princess Elizabeth drama, so I wanted to be careful this time and make draft after draft until the video was perfect. That being said, I shouldn't have made the draft of that video in the first place. A topic this serious, even if I was trying to be careful, is something I should have never gotten involved in. And it's something I should have taken much more seriously. But even after I panic uploaded that draft, in less than 24 hours I took it down because I realized my mistake of uploading it in the first place.
Actually it's because you got, like, the brakes beaten off of you in streams. And the comments were tearing you to pieces. It wasn't a, man, I made some really bad argumentation here, I am so sorry, and then own that, apologize, take some time off, and then go about your business. No, it was you defended it. You defended under the pretense of, well, it's Kumo's fault, it's Kumo's fault, it's Kumo's fault, it's Kumo's fault. No, it's not, it's your fault. It's your fault, stupid. Kumo didn't edit that video. Kumo didn't put that asinine argumentation in there. Kumo didn't put in you having a quote-unquote interview with Ciney where you essentially just give her back pats the entire time. Die.
I did not double down, but I'm still receiving backlash for it to this day. Why would I tell
You're right, you didn't double down. You quadrupled down. My apologies.
Vincent that I was going back and forth on things, and that she deserved the backlash if this was supposed to be my final draft of the video?
Because there's nothing you said to Vincent that contradicts what you put in the video. Like, that's why.
Why would I lie to Vincent? I had nothing to gain or to protect myself from. I just really wanted to finish up this draft.
Because sometimes people lie, not because they gain anything, because they're just used to doing it. It's second nature to them, and I feel, unfortunately, it's second nature to Jar here, too.
So I could use it as a reference, and of course see what I could salvage. That's part of the reason as to why I told my editor, Lorenzo, to stop adding edits to the call I had with Ciney. When you're working on a heavily edited video, you don't really see how...
I don't know. I think that's the only thing that salvages anything from there. Ah, Lorenzo, you cheeky little guy.
How good or bad it is until it's all in front of you. Do you guys really think I looked at this draft of the video and thought to myself, yeah, this is perfect. I should really just upload it as it is? Here are my current thoughts on Ciney. She didn't just speak inappropriately to a minor, she directly got them to engage with her fetish. She was 20 when she did this. She was at an age where she should have known better. I think she wanted to corrupt a minor in the same way she was corrupted when she was 14. She has also done many other I
think she wanted to corrupt somebody the same way she was corrupted. Corrupted. This is not fiction. This is not a file that's overridden by bad data. This is, let's go ahead and give Jar the argumentation that it was Ciney wanting to do damage to somebody the same way that she was given damage when she was younger, which we don't even know, by the way. I don't have any data about that either. I don't know what happened to Ciney when she was younger. I do know she was doing things online she had no business doing at that age. But that doesn't inherently mean she was victimized. I don't know. Maybe she was. I'm not going to go into detail. But, number one, that's not how you talk about people who have struggled with something like that or gone through something horrible. Right? You don't say you were corrupted at a younger age. Number one, that's gross. Even without taking into it the fact that it's inaccurate, it's just a gross way to say it, right? Secondly, how do I put this? How do I articulate this? Because the way he said it just actually pissed me off. I think my brain reset. It sounds like you're making an excuse for them without a decent argument and instead just trying to make up something that sounds good in fiction. This isn't a supervillain saying, I will do to the world what the world did to me. This isn't the Phantom of the Opera, who, when told to, like, give somebody compassion, he responds, the world had no compassion for me. That's not what this is. Right? Like, yes, hurt people hurt people. People who have been hurt are going to sometimes hurt other people because either they don't know how to deal with it or they think it's normal. Whatever. But good God, you look like a monster when you say crap like this. This is why you shouldn't be talking about this stuff, Jar. Good God.
Appropriate things with other minors as well. She more than likely would have kept doing stuff like this for years. I still, however, do not believe she had any interest in kids. I do not think Ciney...
Then why didn't she have these conversations with adults? Or more of them? Because you know what I haven't seen? What I haven't seen is other adults coming forward saying, no, we talk about this stuff with Ciney all the time. It's stupid. And you're stupid. Stop being stupid, stupid.
And he hurts children out of any form of desire for them or interest in hurting them. I don't think she would have ever asked for nudes of a minor, or to send nudes of herself to a minor. But the fact is, she hurt children. Even if it wasn't out of any form of maliciousness, she still did it. She groomed a minor not to get with them romantically, but to get them to draw art of her fetish.
It's a distinction without a difference, and you're an idiot for making this a talking point.
And to get them to read out a comic of her fetish, which is something I didn't know about until later on.
Look, here's the thing. Alright, I'm just going to be that guy, alright? Because I'm kind of sick of this level of stupid argumentation from this mentally stunted halfwit, whose entire family tree, I guess, was just a stump at this point. I question whether or not Jar's parents were related before they were married. So let me go ahead and put this as clear as I can. If you are so much of a sexual deviant that you need a comic about sexual assault read out, do you have any idea how many groups and discords and whatever you can go to filled with obsessive adults who will sit there and micromeasure the dicks of monsters that you could have had this conversation with, that you could have had a larger swath of people that are critiquing your work in like the most autistic way possible, and that would be fine, ideally, because they're adults? That's not an excuse. It's not a reason. What are you talking about?
I don't think it's right for people to call her a pedo, but she's certainly predatory.
Distinction without a difference. Learn the term.
As for the allegations of me rizzing up a pedo, this is also false. Ciney herself said
I will agree. You didn't rizz up a pedo. That's the one thing I will say people I believe genuinely are wrong about.
She didn't think I was trying to make a pass at her.
I didn't think it was at the time. At the time, I thought it was just being, like, weird. I didn't think it was, like, an actual pass. Like, I was assuming that he was, like...
You're smarter than you're letting on.
Because I just thought it was strange to say, because it's just not something you say.
Because you thought it was a flirt.
Not really, it's just...
Well, then why would it be strange?
I mean... I don't know, it's just not, like, a thing I hear people say very often.
So what else could it have been?
Just him being autistic? I don't fucking know.
So I don't think I was hitting on her, she doesn't think I was hitting on her, and neither does my girlfriend. All three of the people who matter most on whether this was rizzing or not seem to be in agreement with one another.
We are almost 19 minutes in, and he makes one actual solid point. Because that's where I'll be honest about this, in terms of that aspect. I mean, I've been honest the whole time, but still. It's a thing, I say. Whatever. I have yet to see any actual evidence that Jar was sexually interested in Ciney, despite what he said on Chud's stream, because, again, if Jar has a mouth and 2 feet, he will shove both in there all the way down to his lower intestines, no matter what the topic is, right? I don't think he was trying to rizz her up. And she doesn't think so either. And his girlfriend doesn't believe that either. But we'll get into something here that's actually funny in the way it's stupid.
People have told me that they're willing to look past the chicken joke or the pussycat joke, but they have a hard time believing that the sleepy time calls were not romantic in nature. The thing is, though, this only happened once or twice, and they only...
I don't care if it happened once, twice, or 5 billion times, because, I don't know, like sticking your dick in an electric socket, it shouldn't have happened to begin with.
Lasted a couple of minutes. She herself confirmed that we did not goon, and that we mostly talked about Star Wars.
Did you guys goon together at all?
No, what the fuck?
He didn't make it, like, in your phone calls with him, he didn't do anything freaky?
No, he mostly just talked about fucking, like, Star Wars and shit. And I mostly just talked about...
Not going to lie, that sounds like something I would do. Talking to a 10 out of 10 Latina about Ninjago lore is not a good way to get them to sleep with you. I would never hit on someone by talking about Star Wars. Jar clearly hasn't been in the dating scene very often. Because I can promise you, there are some nerd girls out there with like Tism's strongest men could not handle, who will not only talk to you about Ninjago lore for hours, but if you are wrong, you will face their wrath. And not even talking about Star Wars. Star Wars is something a lot of people turn into their entire doggone personalities. If you get with a woman that cares about you and has similar interests to you, she will sit there and listen to you go on and on, find it as the most attractive thing in the world because it's something you're passionate about and something you love, and she sees that love in you, right? Jar's a moron, and this is the worst argument he can make about that.
My cat, like...
I do not hit on women by telling them about Star Wars lore. Even I have more riz than that. I have enough social awareness to know that if you're going to try to get into a woman's pants, you don't tell her about the 2-hour-long Disney Plus Star Wars show review you're working on.
Depends on the woman.
The thought of getting with her, gooning with her, getting her to draw porn of me, or meeting up with her in real life never crossed my mind. I have done quote-unquote sleepy time calls with other people, and yes, that does include my girlfriend. The problem is, she has an early morning shift, and she normally passes out long before I do. But here's 3 people aside from my girlfriend that I have also done sleepy time calls with.
Have I ever fell asleep on the phone while talking to you?
Yes.
Why would you do this? Why is your response to that to get together people you do that with as though that's going to make this any better? And I'm just going to be that guy for a moment. Look, I'm not going to deny that somebody like Masato as a character is attractive, like, physically, but I want to just remind everybody, Masato really likes kids, right? And here he is, talking about how he didn't defend a groomer to somebody who uses, well, a groomer as a profile picture. And again, if you identify with Misato and talk about how she's essentially me, somebody needs to check your hard drive and beat you to death. But that's just a tangent because I hate Evangelion. I hate it so much. I think it's the grossest thing that pop culture in the anime sphere justifies. But anyways, it's ridiculous, and I hate it. I absolutely hate it. But it's going to get worse, because it always gets worse.
Out of all the time you've known me, the several months, have I ever made it a pass or an advance or anything like that towards you?
No.
Have I ever done a quote-unquote sleepy time call with you where I fall asleep while chatting with you?
Yes, you have.
This guy is the Vincent who did the video to defend Jar. And it was a bad video. A really bad video. And on top of it being a really bad video, he really doesn't like me. And I don't think it's for the reason other people don't that might be valid. This guy doesn't like me because he thinks I'm plotting against Jar and that I'm part of some cabal to destroy Jar's reputation as though Jar would need help for that. And then he runs from Falgi on his own stream in mid-debate because Falgi was talking about things he didn't want to. So, no. And for those of you who are going to ask, I never had a sleepy time talk with Jar. I never would. I'm good, thank you.
I wanted to confirm if that was true or not. I think it's pretty obvious you do that. It's weird, but I can understand. I think I suggested ASMR for you.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So, Viakui, I want to ask you something. You're a male, right?
Yes.
Do you think I have any romantic interest or attraction to you?
No.
Okay, have I fallen asleep on calls with you?
Yeah.
Definitely more than once.
Yeah.
And you never thought it was a romantic or sexual thing?
No.
And it usually just lasts a couple of minutes. We talk about random shit as I'm laying in bed, and then I say, all right, man, I think I'm going to pass out now. And then you say bye, I stop the call, and then maybe I'll hit you up again, but usually I fall asleep, right?
Yeah.
Okay, are you positive? I'm not just, like, leading you on with these responses.
Yes.
Am I lying?
Now, I want to go ahead and say that since that's done. I'm not surprised at all that Jar's decided to become friends with Viakui, because Viakui did a video on me, which is one of the dumbest, most maliciously edited videos I've ever seen somebody do on me, because Viakui here has been caught with his pants down, getting children to harass and swat people he doesn't like. Yes, swat them. I do still plan on doing a video on that. I'm just waiting for a couple of things before I can put it out, because there's some very specific things I need to make sure are ticked off before I go forward on that. Viakui has successfully tried to paint himself as a victim, and because Jar always goes to smaller channels to defend him, has become friends with Viakui, knowing full well what he's done. So Jar, I can't wait for that to backfire on you. The moment you two have a spat with each other, you're going to get swatted. That's just going to happen. So I really hope that roommate of yours that's terrified about stuff like that is warned ahead of time, if he still lives with you. So yeah, Viakui is a worthless piece of garbage. He has no problem harassing children, having them get data for him, and then giving them grief later on, or working with swatters to go harass people he doesn't like, and specifically harassing some random Splatoon woman, and then trying to convince other people that he kills animals. It's going to be a fun video, to say the least.
Last response, I told you guys I couldn't explain why I do sleepy time calls. That was a lie. The true reason why I do sleepy time calls is quite embarrassing. Throughout the day I distract myself from my thoughts, whether that's playing video games, going to work, hanging out with friends, or even going for a walk. But when it's time for sleep, I have nothing to distract myself with, and all of those bad thoughts quickly surface all at the same time.
I believe there's a meme. It says men will do anything except go to therapy. I'm not sure about that, Ivy Sly. I'm still looking into that. Yeah, thank you for the correction. But, yeah. Go to therapy, get that worked out. Or you could do this amazing thing, right? Thank you, the Corn Lord. And I do mean like corn, like the actual corns. BeefMX says, audiobooks. Yes, audiobooks are great. So are documentaries you can put on. You don't have to have somebody in call with you as you fall asleep, alright? Like, brother, that's weird. Especially in this context.
I can't look at my phone or the screen will wake me up, and I think about things that make me angry and things that make me anxious. The quote-unquote sleepy time calls are a good way for me to distract myself from these intrusive thoughts. I didn't do this with a lot of people because, well, it seems like a weird thing to do. I did this with my roommate a few times, but he was off on a business trip. I really didn't want this getting out there, but now...
You know what I listen to put me to sleep every night? My fan. Because I'm old.
It's out there, so I can do all the sleepy time calls I want to do with people now. I knew for a fact that people would find it weird, but I really don't see a problem with it. All it is me laying in bed talking to someone about some random topic as I slowly pass out, and then I hang up. I think people are overreacting to this a little bit too much, especially when they put a romantic spin on it. However...
Here's the thing. And again, Jar likes to take accusations that don't matter and address them like they do. There's not a single person that I have seen. Now, I could be wrong, right? There is the off chance that this did happen, or maybe it's somebody I don't know about, right? Maybe somebody is saying that all of the sleepy time calls are romantic. Who cares? But the people who usually talk about it, like Chris the Narc, Beckett, me, a few other people, when they talk about sleepy time calls, even if they say it's romantic, it's just a pick on him. It's not like a hard accusation that you must face in the court of public opinion. It's, ha! That's weird, dude. Why are you being weird? That's what it ultimately breaks down to. But he has to address it. He has to. Because addressing the hard things, he can't do it.
I still shouldn't have done this with someone I was looking into with a topic this serious. It won't happen again. If Kumo truly did believe that I had romantic interest in Ciney, he could have set me up, get me to quote-unquote confess my love to her.
It's pretty obvious to me that Kumo didn't think you had romantic feelings for Ciney. In fact, that's what he got fussed at for. He's very clear about what he thought you had for Ciney, and none of it was romantic. Unless you're really freaking weird.
And then I would have no way of backing out of it. I think he didn't do this because he knew I would say, sorry, I'm not into you like that. Here's what I think happened. Kumo might have had a thing for Ciney. Not saying it was a romantic thing, but...
Jar, you could have saved people a lot of time by just saying, no you. That's the argument.
Him calling her sweetheart was definitely an odd thing for him to do.
Dude, I've called people that before. I've called multiple people that before. I'm not in any way, shape, or form romantically interested, and because I'm older and they're younger and, like, it's a term of endearment. What a dumb point.
He realized he was in over his head trying to defend Ciney. I don't believe he was saying she was totally innocent, just less guilty like I was. And once he got his hands on my video, he knew he could use me as the fall guy. He released it so I wouldn't have a chance to remake it or reach out to Jack and Enno. He then got Ciney to send him her DMs with me. Then he proceeded to release it to everyone without my or her permission first. When I was asked for my DMs with Ciney, the first thing I said was, let me ask her for permission first. When I realized she sent them to Kumo, it absolutely shocked me and caught me off guard. The original accusation that I was simping for Ciney originally came from...
You know, honestly, the accusation of wanting to sexually assault Ciney, yeah, that'd catch anybody off guard. That's why anybody who's heard it is like, what? Not a single person saying, no, I think Kumo's right on that. They're all like, what?
Kumo. And according to him, he did it to stop me from raping Ciney. Kumo and Goblin Girl did what they did to get the hate off of themselves, but it didn't work.
No, to an extent, maybe. Because there are some DMs talking about, well, Jar screwing himself over. It's going to take, like, attention away from us, so we're good. So we can work on XYZ thing. But not in the sense that he's trying to push it, right? That timeline doesn't line up.
Kumo, Goblin Girl, Ciney, and Jack are now all gone. I was very stupid with how I handled this situation. But
okay, so I'm going to put a poll in the chat. Okay? I'm going to put a poll in the chat. And, give me a second. So, the question, right, the tale to regale, possibly, is who wants to hear what Romantic Goblin's brand new, brilliant plan was to get heat specifically off of her? Who wants to hear it? All right, let's see a little vote here, and we'll see how that happens. All right, we'll see how that goes.
Out of everything in this drama around me, people saying that I cheated on my girlfriend hurts the most of all. So, mind if I ask you, do you think I'm the type of person who would cheat on my girlfriend?
No, I think anybody with a functional brain can tell you're quite the opposite. You get very worried about upsetting her, even like the tiniest amount. There's no way in hell you would ever cheat on her.
If Jar was worried about upsetting her even the tiniest little amount, he wouldn't have been doing stupid crap like this to begin with. Just gonna say that right now.
Obvious to anybody who's spoken to you for even a couple of minutes. Having known you for months, in my experience, I can say no.
Listen to my voice. Listen to the way I talk. Do I really sound like the kind of guy who just sleeps around with women all the time?
I'm gonna be blunt. I think if that was an option for Jar, he'd take it. Then again, I think that's true for most men. Especially when they don't, like, have scruples, specifically. Yeah.
No, of course not. Obviously, I'm the type of guy who is so happy when a woman gives me the chance that I won't try anything to mess it up.
That is also incorrect, because, Jar, I've heard your calls with Himpleton about one of your exes. You have absolutely done some unhinged crap to screw things up. No, I don't stream figure reviews, sorry.
My girlfriend is absolutely wonderful. She is amazing, and I'm so happy that she can love me despite my flaws. I never thought I would meet a woman like that. It's not okay for you guys to make statements about me cheating on my girlfriend with such flimsy evidence, or for a handful of you to try to gaslight her into thinking I cheated on her. I've been cheated on before. It's not a fun thing to go through, and I would never put someone else through that same pain. As for me claiming that Ciney's avatar, along with the avatars of other people, are attractive, yeah, of course they are. They're artistically pleasing to look at. If someone has an attractive avatar, that does not mean I want to get with them. That is absolutely ridiculous and silly.
Then why'd you want to get with Jaden Animations? Questions for later.
I can't even believe I'm having this conversation right now. This is such a weird and bizarre thing for people to focus in on. I've never even heard of...
Then why are you focusing in on it, stupid?
Someone else dealing with something like this. I never asked nor looked for an image of...
Like, I've had people say unhinged things about me that, like, even me and the boys, we don't sit there and say, guys, I need to get together a response to this. I need to address this. And talk about, we're like, no, we're just going to make fun of the idiot's aesthetic, because God, that's stupid.
What Ciney looked like in real life. Now I've seen what she looks like in real life, and I'm going to be honest here, I'm not interested.
How do I put this? So there's this third level in the original Battletoads for the Nintendo Entertainment System. This is a pain in the butt because of friendly fire. Jar, this is friendly fire. You're not exactly a looker either, alright? So taking shots at other people's appearance, probably not the best option for you.
The idea that I saw her avatar, fell in love with her, and then decided to protect her so she would get with me so I could do things to her unconsensually is an absolutely ridiculous and stupid idea.
Which is why nobody with any sanity or an actual following is saying that you're just focusing on the one person who said something unhinged, because you think somehow addressing that will take away from anything else you're being criticized for. No.
After everything happened with the Ciney drama, a bunch of people came out of the woodworks, and Gish galloped by hitting me with as many allegations as they could, most famously of which are the allegations from Choco. Choco made the claim that she had a perfect memory from a call that happened over 4 years ago. Gotta admit, that's pretty impressive. I struggle to remember a call I had with Vincent Skullman just a couple of weeks ago.
But you'll remember when you were wronged a decade ago about internet drama. Gotta let that lay in the air for just a little bit.
Unsurprisingly, this call was unrecorded.
No. No. You don't say. Not everybody records every call. Also, drawing his OC violating stuff to Jaden Animations. She changed this to rape an idiot. What do you think violation means, stupid?
She made the claim that I asked her to draw my avatar, raping J Animation's avatar. I do consider this to be a strange claim, especially when we consider the fact that I've never requested rape porn of my character before or after this.
Well, the thing about that is, one could take Jar at his word, except for the fact that Jar lied in his last response saying he's never asked for porn in general, when I brought up literal times he has. So, no, that doesn't cut the mustard. That dog won't hunt. Alright? Alright? Alright. long as we're all on the same page. Freaking stupid. Boy, it's about as sharp as a bowling ball.
Choco did show evidence that I got her to draw Jade animations lifting up her shirt when she was 17 and a half. I do not know how you go from requesting rape porn to ending up with a picture that could fit in a thumbnail.
By having somebody who's not comfortable with drawing what you requested and you still accept it because it's a titillating picture of a character you're obsessed with. Ta-da! I just made magic there. Should have pulled a rabbit out of my hat.
I think I was going to use this for a thumbnail about Jaden porn, but I decided not to because...
Everybody should go look at that video, by the way. Everybody should. Get back to me when you do, because it's fascinating. It's fascinating.
Because I thought it would be in bad taste. Some people have pointed out I said you drew porn of her for me as a way to claim that I lied. The thing is, though, this was for a thumbnail about Jada Animation's porn, so of course it's going to be pornographic in nature. She told me that she was 17 at the time when she drew it.
It's funny, because in the first video, he says he thinks it was for a thumbnail. Now, 5 years later, from a call that he doesn't remember, and she obviously couldn't remember, suddenly he knows it was for a thumbnail. Very interesting.
And I just didn't know how to react. This was the day before Christmas, so the next day I spent time with my family and kind of forgot about it. I didn't know Choco's age at the time, and I should have asked for it. After Choco released her doc on me, she blocked me, and I do not know why. She was always the one trying to talk to me for years, and I always gave her short responses. Sometimes they were as short as one word. I went over this in my last response, and a few people have been making the claim that I said everything in her document was true. I never said that in my last response. Every time I've asked someone for an example of this, they either went back and watched it, realized they were wrong, and apologized, or they would just call me a liar and not even bother to check. I guess this is one of those famous examples of me quote-unquote self-reporting. The idea that I just really wanted rape porn then and there and couldn't wait for her to turn 18, and then I proceeded to never do it again. She went on to not talk to anyone about this, and then proceeded to constantly try to get into contact with me. All just seems a bit ridiculous.
You see, here's the thing. You could perhaps point out flaws in Choco's memory or argument here, but the whole, well, she kept coming back to me, it's not a counter argument, because there are people who have had horrible things done to them by those horrible people who keep going back to them. It's a dumb argument to try to make. Also, I see Cloudy's in the chat. Everybody be on your best behavior. We never know what she can do.
This story does not add up at all. Something I did not go over in my last response is my whole interaction with a 16-year-old girl at the pool. I didn't think I needed to go over this originally, but a lot of people have been commenting about it. Some people, like Chuli, have even made the claim that I got an erection from seeing the 16-year-old girl at the pool.
One thing I feel isn't brought up enough, and something Jar hasn't responded to, is how he admitted to not being able to go to public pools because underage 16-year-old girls might show up and he won't be able to stop himself from leering at and daydreaming about them, causing himself to get an erection.
That's what they say happened. Now let's listen to what I actually said.
You know, there's actually some severely damning things that Julie does mention that's factual in there instead of just the hyperbole she's using here, and of course he won't focus on any of that.
Like, can I tell you the worst part about being a guy? I'm at the pool, just relaxing. 16-year-old girl shows up in her bikini. I realize I have to get the fuck out of there right now because, like, I'm not going to be paying attention. I'm going to daydream. I'm going to look in her general direction, and then suddenly a situation is going to happen. So I realize, like, whenever I see a 16-year-old girl in a bikini while I'm at the pool, I'm like, whoop, time to go home.
So here's the thing. Number one, why would you say that? Just in general. Number two, if that actually is a problem for Jar, wear sunglasses. Because if you're zoning out while in the pool, number one, how have you not drowned yet? And number two, again, why even go to a public pool to begin with? That just sounds gross.
I never implied that I got an erection or any other form of arousal. If you get a boner in the pool, the last thing you should do is get out of the water. For obvious...
No, technically you should you should flex your hip muscles, because that'll redirect the blood flow. There, you all learned something today.
Reasons. I think all the men in my audience already know the answer to this. The story about me and the 16-year-old was something I just made up to give Ciney an example that it's harder for guys to deal with allegations like this.
Yes, that you used as an example to say that she's lucky that she doesn't, and I quote, have a pee-pee. Because you were banking on the fact that she was a she and would get away with it easier. Freak.
And with how people are reacting
Yes, Cloudy, I have that knowledge. It's almost like I'm a guy!
to this made-up story of mine, it kind of proves my point. But if you don't want to believe me that it's made up, alright then, how did I know she was 16? What, did you think I went up to her and got her ID? How old was I?
If Jar could for once in his life focus on the actual meat of things said to him instead of whatever rabbit he chases after or dragon he chases after, it'll be a good day. Be a good day.
When this happened. For all you guys know, I could have been 17, 16, or even 12.
You were talking about an adult male. Because that was the comparison you were making towards Ciney, who's an adult female. What is this?
In my hypothetical story, I said I didn't want to get accused of being a creep. A lot of people have twisted this story into me saying that I couldn't control my urges. I never said nor implied that, and it's very weird that people's minds are going there. If this was the case, I would never admit to something like this. When I brought up daydreaming, I wasn't talking about daydreaming about the girl, I was talking about daydreaming in general. I zone out.
Okay, gonna address the chat real quick. We're adults. I don't care if a woman talks about her cycle in the chat with the guys. Like, everybody should be aware that human beings have things that happen. The reason why it's important to tell a dude how to kill that is sometimes you just gotta take a piss. You learn things in the field.
Out sometimes and just stare off into the distance. Sometimes it does freak people out. I can't believe I said I would look in their general direction and they changed that to me leering at them. Or that I claimed that I couldn't go to public pools.
Hey Jar, is there like a 500 sub channel you want to just address instead? You know, just if you're going to go to the bottom of the barrel in terms of the smaller commentators, you just go to the smallest possible.
The allegation against me.
I will get to it shortly. Don't worry, Chris. Don't worry. Don't you worry.
Me would have been made sooner if people were confident that they were true. But people only came out about this stuff when I was less likely to fight back. Not an honorable move, but an effective one. People are right about a few things when it comes to me. I overshare, and that's the last thing you want to do when people are bashing on you. I'm an absolute pussy in live debates, and I fold way too fast. I've also said stupid things that made me look worse than I really am. Like when I said that
if these things are true, why'd you go on to Chud's stream? Weird.
Revenge sometimes feels like it's the only thing that keeps me going, when it actually isn't. Let's ask someone I quote-unquote tried to get revenge on for 7 years. Lulu, the person in the video about my past. Hello, Lulu Bell, or Lulu as I know you.
Okay, her art is super cute. Like, that is some adorable freaking art.
You were in a drama around the Princess Elizabeth drama 10 years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so one question I have for you is when I finally made my video, quote-unquote, getting revenge, and I talked about what you guys did to me, and we finally got into contact, did I yell at you, scream at you, or try to spread false information about you?
No, I don't think so. I don't remember any false information stuff.
Okay, well, the problem is people keep saying I'm a guy who wants to get revenge on everyone, like an eye for an eye kind of thing, but I really just want to talk about what happened to me, and I just want you to know that I never wanted to do to you what happened to me.
Yeah, no, I get that. I feel like you've already addressed a lot of the stuff that I was uncomfortable with initially, when...
Actually, let me take a look at something real quick here. Doesn't even link to her? Where we can see more adorable art, that is the truest sin here.
Stuff was coming out.
Yep.
But we're like really relaxed, and I don't actually see what people mean by the revenge thing, because like I'm probably arguably one of the people you should hate the most.
Like I did refer to it as revenge because I didn't know what else to call it, but it's more maybe closure or whatever. And me and you have talked things out, and I got closure, and honestly to me that's way better outcome than me just hurting you, because me hurting you wouldn't have brought me peace.
Yeah, I can understand that.
The fact of the matter is, I didn't spend years of my life just trying to get revenge or bash someone at the perfect time. I just wanted to talk about what happened to me. Me and Lulu Bell are friends now, and she makes art for me. I'm a forgiving person at heart.
Yes, you pay her, but do you link her stuff?
and I forgave her for everything. All the hatred I'm receiving isn't fun to deal with, but if I'm going to stay on YouTube, I just have to get used to stuff like this. I understand that I talk funny and say things in a very bizarre way. Don't lie to yourself. When you hear me talk, the only thing you can think of is how I'm an easy target.
Chris brings up a valid point. If you're very forgiving, why the Tower of Babel? Look, here's the thing. A lot of people have brought it up as a flaw, man. I am forgiving. Okay, to give it a point, there was a guy from Fox Mafia, for those of you who remember that debacle, who had said some horrendous, unhinged things about me, had taken shots at me, had taken shots about my marriage. He's in Vlad's server, so when I hopped in, the first thing he did was apologize. For how he talked, for what he said, for all of that. And the first thing I did is I forgave him. I mean, number one, that's part of my theology. I'm going to forgive people who wrong me, right? There are some people I struggle with that on. I'm not going to deny that. But in general, yeah, I'm going to. Why wouldn't I?
You think I don't know? I get it. It's funny to mock someone like me, and it's smart to paint me as much as an awful person as you can, so your hatred for me seems justifiable. Plenty of people couldn't wait for my downfall. They just lacked a reason, and now they have it. But all of this is a little overblown in my book. Moving forward, I'll be more careful with how I handle situations like this, and of course I'm going to be using a script more often. I'm not just doing this for me, but I'm also doing it for the people I care about. I can't control what everybody is saying about me, but I can control how I act from here on out. I'm going to get back to reviewing movies and shows I really want to talk about. I want to thank everybody who gave their...
Oh my god. Alright, so, you guys had asked for detail. Now, I have to be honest with you. I completely forgot what it was. So if you guys can remind me what I was talking about on stream 17 minutes ago, just being honest here, I could probably remember what the tale was that I'm going to tell all of you. So yeah. And while you do that, I need to look up something here, because I'm going to bring something to everybody's attention. It's going to be a lot of fun. Doggone it. Da-da-da. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. I guess it's not in the specific call. Too bad. I was going to pull up the fact that Jar still thinks that Spocter's biggest issue was that he ran away instead of, I don't know, having a child's nudes on his hard drive. Oh, yes, thank you. Thank you all. The romantic goblin stuff. Yes, thank you. Thank you. All right, so here's the brilliant tale, right? Here's the brilliant tale. So, when Goblin put out that call, which apparently she forgot to edit out Kumo's claims, that was one of their problems with each other, she decided that she can't handle the heat. So what she did was, apparently she was in contact with one of the people who is one of the individuals who sent me pizza. Right? Because I guess he thinks that terrifies me. A couple things. Number one, what was really funny, and I have it somewhere, I don't have it on hand, but somewhere, where this person is bragging about doxing me and sending me pizzas. And Goblin's like, I don't care because Lyle doxes himself all the time. And you could just tell that moment where the guy stops. He's like, wait, what? Because he thought he was big and bad and that he terrorized me and that I was scared of him. Just to find out, no, Lyle does that on his own. He's not scared of that. So then he has a meltdown saying that it was dumb that I did that. I'm like, you're just mad that I took your power from you, moron. Anyways, I'm giving you context for that because that guy is discussed here. So their brilliant plan was for a Goblin to do a stream and for him to come on that stream to berate her for the call with Ciney and being in the defense group, and then somehow magically take over her entire channel so the focus is on him taking her channel and not on her so she can just fade away into the distance. That was their plan. That's exactly what she was planning on doing, and instead she just wound up nuking her entire channel. How stupid are you, man? It's amazing. Amazing idea. Ah! So dumb. Brilliant people. Now, were they crashed out on my comment? Yes, Chris, they were. We still don't remember who that guy was. He's obviously somebody that I've messed with before. He probably touched kids. Let's be honest here. So him being that butt man is genuinely humorous to me, right? The truth of the matter is, when you do anything on YouTube, and I do mean anything, you're gonna create haters. There are gonna be people who want to see your downfall for whatever reason. Just make sure it's the right people. Which unfortunately is something Vlad had to learn when it came to my haters, because the majority of them that dislike me for some of the behavior I've done in the past that I've been working to not do again. The sensible ones were like, you know what, if he's not doing it anymore, I don't care, we can be chill. My anger's gone. But the ones who hold on to it, and it becomes their entire personality, there's something wrong with them. The reason there's something wrong with them, because most of the people who hate me to that extreme, isn't because I've done wrong, it's because they probably touch kids. And I hate that I have to say that, because it sounds like a Jar excuse, but I will repeat. If I have done wrong, saying more unhinged things that I've actually not done is not going to help. Right? So, be very careful who you listen to. And instead, try to figure out why they're saying certain things. Especially when they don't have evidence for it, or they're obsessed with pushing it on other people. Like a certain dried-out individual that Chris took a shot at on a stream the other day. Very, very funny. And one day we'll talk about them in more detail, because her and her work husband are some interesting pieces of degenerate work, who are, I guess, fine with children being told sexual things around them, letting them access not just pornography in general, but what they themselves consider child porn. Oh, and giving a predator money. Forgot that one too. So one day we'll talk about that. Now, as far as the future, right? I'm doing reviews this month. There's going to be some tough things we have to put out. I haven't decided yet whether or not I'm going to put out the manga comment call. And the reason for that is what I have gotten into the habit of doing. Because thankfully I'm not in the same position I used to be in Senate. I want to be very clear here. Senate wasn't all bad. We did do a lot of good, whether people want to recognize that or not. I'm no longer in a position where I am the only person that can make decisions on that I had no one else I can really turn to. I have people I trust now that I will communicate with them. Hey, here's what my read is. What is your read? And we have a conversation about that. I need some Thundercat figures for my shelf. Any recommendations? Actually, the new Mattel He-Man crossover figures are good if you take away all the He-Man stuff from them. So I'm looking at how people are responding to manga comment, right? And there's certain things about his response that really irks me based on the call we had. Like, really irks me. But I'm wondering if the way people are responding to him isn't how it should be, instead of just more vitriol. So I'm trying to parse that out myself, right? And we'll go from there. But we have that. I don't know if I'm going to talk about Heaton or not and her response. Something I'm still deciding. But there's also something else I was sent, and once I have a conversation with somebody about that, we'll determine on whether or not I talk about that. And yes, Chris, I saw the DM. Very based, obviously. You know, Starscream, I thought we were friends too, until last year, where he made some interesting decisions. Does the call between you and Manga Junkie still up? Yeah, it's still up. In fact, that call is one reason why I am so disappointed in Manga Comment for multiple reasons. Not really sure what we're going to do on that. Like, honestly, not really sure. I'll talk to you behind the scenes, Beefame. There's reasons why I'm giving kind of pause here. Mostly I'm just going to do nerd stuff. What I have been doing, like for next month. Because while the theme of the channel next month is going to be Transformers, because why not? Can I be talked to as well? No, you don't need to be talked to. It's later. I actually plan on doing an in-depth video that might fascinate some of you, because I promised it last year, but I didn't have the time to do it. A video on Ed and Lorraine Warren that some of you might find interesting. Right? We'll talk about Ponder Future. I will put out a short video, essentially getting people abreast of what's going on. It's going to be a, hey, pay attention to what's talked about. Expect evidence for claims. But also, watch how other people respond to it. and match them against how they responded last year to other things. Pay very close attention to that, because that's going to tell you who you can trust. And yes, I still plan on covering Karma Rider, all this stuff. Look, I needed some time away from the heavy stuff, honestly, because I dealt with it from 2018 to 2024, one way or another. Needed some time to decompress. I've got most of that now. Now I just need to learn how to get better at editing and to have time. Because again, despite what some people may want to believe, to suit their fancy, I do work. I work quite a bit. And I'm still working on trying to get my health where it needs to be, because it's not good. October Godzilla month. Not October, alright? Well, maybe we'll do it November. We'll talk. It depends. The problem with the month stuff is I kind of need enough to make a month out of it, and I don't know if I had that much Godzilla stuff. In fact, I've sunk a lot of money to Power Rangers month. There's still some things I need to pick up, too. So, yay! Love sinking money. But I'll go ahead and let you all go for now. Thank you all for joining me. But before we go, I will read out your super chats, which you have been gracious to give me. It is very appreciated. So Oh, also, real side talk, because the last heavy stream I did was on Patchwork Arc. They have been melting down about me on Tumblr. They've been trying to say that I ran a cult. Like, it's been fun watching them freak out. Anyways, Lacy Pink Landmine for $2. Lio Stream and baked chicken salad equal Dural dinner. True. Janoshi the Throw $2. Off topic, I've been loving your recent reviews. Thank you. I've enjoyed putting them together. And next month or next week starts a new one. Buddha Cat for $5. Hiya, Lio. Here's some money for your journey to Jar Hell once again. Fantastic. Also, one day in Cat's Lair, I will have you watch K-pop Demon Hunters and love it. We'll see. Hidden Heroine for $2 European. Yeah, my name is Found Cocaine. Fantastic. Tycat, who will never get my Werther's originals, for $5. Trade deal. I give you $5 and you finally tell me where your Werther stash is. You will never know. Metalman87, $2. Sorry you got to deal with this doofus again. Well, the sad thing is with Jar specifically, I can at least have some fun with it. Rhapsody for $5. Did I hear that he's been stealing thoughts and opinions from other people? Or did I hear that he's been stealing thoughts and opinions from other people? And that's what I call intellectual plagiarism. Yeah, one could argue he's not thinking for yourself, obviously, because he certainly doesn't. Digital sketch for $10. Jar's woe is me voice makes me want to play IRL Frogger. That's devious. I like that. Lousy Lou Loser for $2. He's locked me in the audio editing basement. Help. You're not supposed to tell people that, Lou. How dare you, Lulu? Tycat again for $5. Have another $5 because I like throwing money at people. Much appreciated. David315842 for $2. Lio wants to review Power Rangers. Leave him be, Jar. True. Lucky M for $2. But Lio, fact-checking takes evidence. Yes, it does take effort, too. Or it takes effort. More have come in, so refreshing. It died. David315842 for $2. Coyote Lovely Gay Op Jar. Not too much. True. Hanazina for $5. Jar was a part of it, by the way. Before his drama, he hung around Blackbuster's community bullying Sonic fans. Holy crap, that's needless. Sonic fans are bullied enough. Digital sketch for $10. Oh my god. Jar, who cares how less bad it is? It is still sending porn to a child. I am going to play in traffic. Beaver May for $5. Jar doesn't do anything anyone says. You told him not to make a response. True. Sky needs sleep for $2. Is Jar really trying to come back? Yes. And he's only one response away from succeeding. Goji Lion 91, $1. David315842, $1. Digital sketch $10. No self-respecting mob boss would let those two brain-dead sock puppets be goons for them. True, we need to reclaim the word gooning. Warlord Fang for $5. My dad got my mom's by giving her a pickup line in Klingon. Skill issue, Jar. True. See? Nerds can do it sometimes. Sky needs sleep for $5. I'm 23, and the only combos I've had with minors are commissioning, which is rare. How do people get themselves on these situations unless intentional? Good question. Although I'd still commission adults. Long Fork for $2. Sleepy time calls are peak cringe. True. Prince Piplup the Third for $2. Sleepy time call. Your local Jar gets snatched. Well then. Digital sketch for $5. By the way, hydrate and stop shrimping. I don't shrimp, but I do hydrate. By the way, how about those this radioactive shrimp from Walmart? Unironic, that is what happened. Alright. So, we've had fun tonight. Thank you again for $2 calling me gay. No you, no comebacks. We're going to go ahead and close out, and I will catch you guys later. Have a...
Reactor engaged. Faction locked. All go.
Get ready for explosive action with the Silverhawks. Holy hyperdrive! These space-age crime busters are going to strike a blow for justice. That's it, Silverhawks. Show them how it's done by rounding up the intergalactic mob led by public enemy #1. His name is Munstar. So soar with the superheroes that fly on wings of silver and fight with nerves of steel. The Silverhawks.
Weekday mornings at 6:30 on TV 14.
Uh-oh.
Darkwing Duck, grade A superhero who gets a D in everything else.
Launchpad, the book.
He's destructive.
Evildoers everywhere fear me.
He's deranged.
I'm sure it seems that way to the untrained eye.
He's the greatest superhero in St. Canard.
Let's get dangerous.
But to his friends, he's just good old DW.
Gee.
Weekdays on Darkwing Duck.
Weekdays at 3 on the WB Channel 11.
The SWAT Cats. What are they doing here?
Your job, Feral. Only a sorcerer's dark power could have brought these ancient bones to life. It must have been the past master.
Don't worry, Miss Briggs. We'll take care of it. And him.
How many lives do these cats have?
From its ashes I will create a new city where lawlessness is the law of the land.
I used to be Dr. Purvis. But now you can call me Dr. Viper.
Hey, bucket butts, is this a private party? Or can anybody join? Outstanding! Down these mean skies, a cat must fly. We want to be the good guys.
Do you think Dark Cat will surface again soon?
Well, when he does, we'll be waiting. Both of us. Count on it.
On the next all-new Ninja Turtles. Like the Phoenix, I have risen from the ashes, and into my fire, you shall fall.
Guys, I say we shred his butt once and for all.
I will not allow you to destroy my family.
My sons, retreat!
Hey, the store's getting hot.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles!
Next Saturday, only in the Fox Box.
Dragonis is destroying the city. Here comes the hockey-playing Mighty Ducks to save the day. Oh, Mighty Ducks! Wildwing skates in and joins Grin and Duke LaRange as they stop the evil Lord Dragonis from destroying the world. Go, Mighty Ducks, go! Wildwing fires his puck. Duke throws his grappling hook and swings into action. Grin skates in with a super crunch. Go! And here comes the Duck Cycle firing pucks to finish off Dragonis. Ducks rock! The new Mighty Ducks figures and Duck Cycle sold separately. Duck Cycle coming soon.
What hidden terror keeps the Batman awake at night?
We should start with your childhood, yes, child?
Bruce.
Is there some past tragedy?
What hidden terror keeps the Batman awake?
I was only a child.
Don't blame yourself.
What hidden terror? Bruce.
A need filled you.
He ain't human.
All consuming. All control.
Who are you? I'm your worst nightmare.
Bruce. Don't go in there.
Why couldn't you save us? Why couldn't you save us? Why couldn't you save us, son?
I am
vengeance. I am the Knight. I am Batman.
Batman. Tonight at 7 on Cartoon Network.
It's payback time.